my Foxy family. Well, we're doing this again. The whole review thing. We did Lights Out last time. Now we're doing a movie called Winchester. It is about... It says, inspired by true events on an isolated stretch of land 50 miles outside of San Francisco. This is the most haunted house in the world, built by Sarah Winchester. Now, the heiress to the Winchester fortune is a house that knows no end, constructed in an incessant 24-hour a day. 7-day-a-week mania for decades. It stands 7 stories tall and contains hundreds of rooms. To the outsider, it looks like a monstrous monument to a disturbed woman's madness. But Sarah's not building for herself, for her niece, or for the troubled Dr. Eric Price, whom she has summoned to the house. She is building a prison, an asylum for hundreds of vengeful ghosts. And the most terrifying among them have a score to settle with the Winchesters. Now, the history and the lore, I guess, of the place is that because the Winchesters were the ones that made the, I don't want to just say the Winchester guns, I sound stupid.
They first developed...
Hold on, we shall interview someone who actually knows what they're talking about. Can I?
No.
Okay.
The Winchesters first developed the Winchester repeating rifle, which was a far cry better than the old cap and ball, the muzzle loaders.
Yeah.
So, quite literally, the Winchester name has trillions of deaths on them. So, she was quite sane for worrying about it. I've actually been to the Winchester house.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And it's still very active.
Is it true, though, as far as based on the movie, what they're saying here that the movie's based on, as far as the fact that there's room upon room of just nothing that she built just for the ghosts?
There's doors that lead out of the 7th floor to the pavement below. There's stairs that lead to nothing.
So she was either trying to confuse them or give them ways out.
Confuse them, mostly.
Okay. So basically what we just read here as the idea of the house is an actual...
Yeah, that's all legit.
Wow.
We'll see. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah,
so
neither
we'll
of us have seen the movie.
How accurate they are.
Yeah. So, that's the thing. We're going to watch the trailer, and then, just like last time, I'm going to pause this because I cannot legally record anything of the actual movie itself. The trailer, it's whatever. That's a reaction thing, but the actual movie itself, I can't. So, I can't do that. But, we will do a review on it, so I'm not going to disappear because I know you guys want to actually see how I react to it, so let me just kind of slide myself in here.
Put it off to the side and stretch your screen out.
I did that. I did that last time. It was horrible. I had a whole strip of white on the side of my thing.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah. It's okay. Somehow or another, I have to figure out how to do it again. There's a way to opaque the camera. You're looking at CSL for just a second. That's my little demoness right there. I'm supposed to be listening to a friend of mine DJing. So, okay. Onto the trailer. Sorry, I hit a wrong button. Onto the trailer.
I feel their presence.
Headphone warning. Y'all know my hearing.
Yeah, what hearing?
Alright, hurry up.
It's a gargantuan 7-storied structure with no apparent rhyme or reason. Built on the orders of a grieving widow.
She can be in the thing, but not. You can't watch the actual movie.
Chaotic as the house itself. We're worried about her sanity, Dr. Price.
We'll see.
Mrs. Winchester, it's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Wow, it's huge.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
That was an actual pan down of the place?
Yeah.
I concealed the presence. But here,
Kind of
in the
a
wall,
defeat.
it has found it.
Mrs. Winchester, well in construction.
The spirit, killed by the rifle. We lock them away. 13 nails seals them in. I will do whatever it takes to protect my family. This spirit has a power we've not seen before.
Beautiful dream, wake up. Starlight and dewdrops are waiting for thee. Sounds of the wind won't hurt in the day.
I'm not afraid.
Alive and around about the star.
Leave my family alone. Your anger will never defeat us.
Ow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause this for just a second. Watch it where I can hear it, because I'm sorry. I couldn't hear it all that well. And, we'll go from there. Okay, guys, to finish up the review. Well, not finish up the whole review, but finish up my closing comments before I watch the movie. It looks awesome. The panning down of the, thing, according to Draco, was actual shots of the actual Winchester house. So, I would love to be able to see this place and go there.
It would drive you insane. Literally. Just the spiritual activity there almost drove me way out.
If you guys remember from the last review video, I did mention about being a medium, being able to see things like that. So, for me to go in that house would be very dangerous. Can I have a bottle, please? So, with a little bit here being a butt, that's going to be my closing statement. I'll see you after the movie. Okay, people, how you doing?
First thoughts?
I really don't know where to start. Honestly, because, I mean, it was a good movie. I would give it, I don't know, it was, for all the hype and all the what have you, I was expecting something more documentary-ish than sensationalized. So, I'd dock a star on that one. I was kind of hoping to see more of, like, the actual house itself. A little more of the history, unless that was pretty much the full history.
In the mark where we talk, thank you. Personally, for rating on that movie?
Yeah, and it's a 1 to 5 star rating that I'm doing, by the way. 5 being the best.
Yeah, I would give it a solid 4, 4.5. I mean, it was right on with how Sarah was and how she felt compelled to constantly have construction done to that house. Towards the end, they actually did say, actual factual things that, she did die in 1922, and what I had learned when I went there is that the day that she passed, the construction workers dropped their tools and walked away. Now, Foxy and I, we're mediums. When I went to that house myself, it almost drove me to go cry in a corner. It was so strong. This house is constantly being refreshed with new souls because of the Winchester company is still viable and still creating instruments that are used to kill. And her soul, I believe, personally, is being tormented in that house for if you believe it, in eternity, for eternity.
Basically, she didn't move on, is what you're getting at.
Yeah, she did not move on. She's still in that house. She's still being tormented by the spirits of the dead that her husband's rifle enabled to be dead.
Yeah.
But as for the movie, it was very well done.
Yeah, I mean...
And, of course, it had to be, hyped up. It's Hollywood.
Well, yeah, but if judging the movie as just as a movie, good pacing, it gets a solid 3 for movie quality. As far as pacing and storyline, so forth, so on. In that respect, it's good. Adding a little historical in there, like he said, about a 4, but it was too hyped for me. There was not enough history there, and it was more sensationalized and more ghosty goo than actual shit.
Well, yeah, it's going to be ghosty goo, honey.
Yeah, but if she kept records and what have you,
those records are still in that library to this day.
Yes, but that's what I'm talking about. Is I was expecting more focus on the history.
If you want a documentary, look up a documentary on the Winchester House. Don't look to Hollywood. Look to History Channel or Discovery Channel or TLC.
Well, I mean,
don't look at Hollywood. Hollywood's going to tell you a bullshit version of the history.
Well, I know, but like A Haunting in Connecticut, for instance, okay? Yes, they totally over-sensationalized that thing, because I saw the actual episode of A Haunting that went over the actual factual stuff that happened, okay? Granted, that A Haunting is a dramatization program where it reenacts the accounts of people. So what it showed on the show was just a reenactment of what the people in that house went through. Now, the movie, on the other hand, with the kid getting stuff written on him and all those little eyelids and a thing, or, all that crap, and the bodies in the walls.
That's all bullshit.
That was all bullshit. But they did actually live in a mortuary that was refurbished into a house, and they were haunted because of that. So
did we?
Yeah, let's not go there, please.
I mean, when Foxy and her 2 pups when we first got together, I was living in Houston. The house I lived in was an old church/crematorium.
Yeah. I woke up one time, okay, this wasn't the old lady ghost, okay? I woke up. Now keep in mind, Draco's, it's got Athena was on the outer side, okay? Then there's the space in between our beds, then Draco, then me. So I'm against the wall. I wake up to see someone just standing there. Not arms at the side, kind of arms at the sides, but more just like outward, and like somebody in a tough buff pose. I freaked the hell out, thinking there's somebody in the room. This person's standing right in front of the walk-in closet, which was converted into a tiny bedroom for the eldest. Okay, so I'm thinking there's somebody in the house, because supposedly it was safe enough to not lock the door. And my youngest at the time is just behind the dresser on a futon. And he grabs a hold of me because I'm about ready to shoot up out of this bed and attack this thing. Instant mama go. And kind of, actually, I can't say that. I actually grabbed a hold of him and gasped for my life. And then was fixing to get up. Until he got a hold of me. I said, no, it's alright, watch. I did. This thing walked like it was going to head out the door and just fizzled into fucking nothing.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing was Nana Ghost, as we called her. It was Nana. I watched her come in the room a few times at night. And she loved Miku to death. She really did. I saw the covers with no one touching them. Kids asleep.
She would tuck her in.
Pull up over her. Tuck her in.
To make sure she was warm and would not get sick.
Yeah. Saw her hair move. And then there's a few times that, I actually saw Nana herself. I'm not going to just say the ghost, because that's rude. I saw Nana herself a few times reach out and stroke her hair. These are all harmless, okay?
Yeah, harmless ghosts.
Even Miss Emmy, okay, was harmless. She was a slave back in the old plantation days. Her and her family drowned in some of the floods that happened through Houston back when they would cover whole neighborhoods, like rooftop cover neighborhoods. And he was talking about going to the bayou to go fishing. And I happened to look out, and it's pouring down rain, and I'm looking in the back, I don't know, back quarter of your half-an-acre yard.
It was 2 acres. And yeah, it was the back 40 left quarter of it.
Exactly. And I saw her standing there with about 5 or 6 other people, mixed, and it kind of an even mix between male and female. And I was talking just like I am now, and I just kind of stopped and just kind of went like this. Now, if ever I'm doing a video or something, and all of a sudden I start kind of leaning and I just blank, that is going into a trance. Okay? Well, it's not bullshit. That happens.
Yeah.
And the things I started to see were her and a few others grasping to whatever wood and things would float by to try to grab others to help them. And she was the kitchen slave, okay? So she would take care of the master's family, the children, the general household stuff. I mean, without this woman, this house would not function. Literally. She couldn't save them. And she drowned trying to, because they were being swept too fast for her. She was in more of a slower current than they were. And she couldn't swim. So, when I started trancing out, I felt someone touch my shoulders, and very gently just kind of set me aside. Now, for those of you who have seen my videos, you've heard me talk. I have no accent, well, slight Brit, Kiwi, Southern mix, but nowhere near what this woman sounded like, because I was a smoker at the time, so I'm going to say she here, because at this point, I was just listening in. Because this was my first dealing with this type of thing. And she took a long drag off my cigarette at the time. Looked up at him and said, "The bayou gets high when it rains." Now you tell me if that sounds like me. I don't think so. And they actually had a conversation, and she flat out told him, "Do not take those kids." I mean, I'm paraphrasing here immensely to move things along because of time. But she basically told him, "Don't be taking them kids near the bayou after it's been raining." So we didn't. But that area, depending on if a person's sensitive or not, depending on the area, depends on the sensitive and how they react to what's going on around them. What I'm trying to lead up to was kind of saving the last story here that's relatable with this movie. This Ben Block character, the ghost. Very violent, very upset, very angry. There's a lot of spirits out there like that. Some are malicious about it, others are just wrongly feeling like him. But the other part of this was I was doing laundry. This is, again, still in Texas. Okay? And I'm bent and I'm trying to get stuff from the washer to the dryer. I'm not even thinking of nothing. I mean, the garage gave me the heebies, along with the room, because him and his family used to do porcelain. So they had
Ceramic.
Ceramic. So they had the kiln and the stuff in a little room, and then the rest of the garage. And then all along the walls was the mold, I guess the molds, or just the unpainted pieces.
Molds and supplies to make more pieces. The pieces were all in that little room with the kiln, and were all already fired and ready to be painted.
But that room in itself gave me the heebies. It's like I couldn't look inside that kiln, because something went bad there. I don't know what, but I could feel it. And it was very strong. I did not want to go in there. But that's not the kicker here. The garage, as most do, had a little loft in it. But the ladder was broken about halfway down, roughly. Didn't touch the ground. Thank God.
Because my mother had died on it at 600 pounds and broke it.
Yeah, no comment. I'm actually kind of thankful she did, because I don't know what would have happened otherwise. But the garage in general just always gave me the heebies, and I couldn't go underneath the loft or near the ladder because it was just bad. And I always looked up there because it's like there's something up there, and I could tell something was up there. And I asked him about it, and at first he's like, well, no, this is what the history of the house was. And I'm like, ay, Dios mío.
You're living in an old
Yeah.
world. Congratulations. Sorry to tell you earlier, but yeah, you're surrounded by death.
On top of ley lines, so yeah, thanks.
Yeah, the house was built on top of intersecting ley lines.
So anyway, moving on here. I looked up and I could see a shadow of something up there. Like, when you catch an animal where it's not quite out of the shadow, but it still has a little light glint off its eyes? I was seeing that in human shaping. Okay, whatever. You stay up there. I'm done. I actually had a conversation with this thing. I'm like, look, I have to get to the washer dryer. I have to get to those freezers because we had what's called tomb freezers in order to get stuff out. We're good, okay? Well, as y'all know, Miku's inherited the gifts, the beings of the sensitive. So I pulled her in because I wanted to make sure. Because see, this is the thing. I can see them. The whole possession thing's kind of new to me. No thanks, but it happens. But for her, from the time of itty bitty onward, she can hear them. Which is why I pulled her in, because I wanted to see what this dude had to say. I very much regret doing that, because he was a very violent and malicious entity.
Yeah, and you basically rang the fucking dinner bell for every sense of evil in that fucking garage. What do evil spirits feed off of?
Well, besides the point, because up until that point, she would come in there with me and there was no problem. Until I recognized the thing, it didn't bother us. But anywho, it got pissed in the fact that she and I walked straight up to the bottom of that ladder. It felt that its territory was being encroached upon, no different than a wild animal. Because a lot of, I'm going to honestly say, malicious spirits of that nature and of that type are no better than a quartering animal. So she told me that, and she didn't want to come in here after that, and I was like, that's fine. I flat out, at this point, I was, okay, it's whatever, I still did my laundry. Well, for those of you who haven't seen The Grudge, I highly doubt there's not many of you who haven't, but in case you haven't, there's a scene. Look up Grudge stare scene. And it's this freaking ghost thing looking down at the main chick. Okay, the one that's got, the chick from that has Buffy in it, okay? Sarah Michelle Gellar. And how she's crawling down the stairs and crap, and it's just scary as hell. Well, in some movies, right before something happens, you hear that loud, blah, and what have you. Yeah, I heard that one. Didn't think nothing of it because most people call me insane because I hear things. But anyway, the hair on the back of my neck. Now, I had my hair up in a bun or some other thing to keep it off my neck because, come on, it's Texas, it's humid, it's hot as hell. And every hair on the back of my neck stood straight on end. And I had to turn around now. Not when I was done, not in a minute, right frickin' now. I did. This damn thing pulled a white-faced, what I call grudge maneuver on me. It was squatted down so far to the loft that I could probably have jumped and high-fived it. And it peeked over, and all I saw was just a white face. It not slender, smartasses. It actually had eyes and, whatever. It was like a white mask over its face.
Yeah, you remember what I did to that fucking
And
thing.
I'm getting to it. I took off like a shot and didn't stop until I slammed his bedroom door behind me. Your mom and grandma actually tried to say something to me, and I totally just blew them off and ran. I made sure the garage door was shut behind me. But, yeah. After that, we didn't go in there without someone in there with us, because there was something very bad was going to happen if we did. But I'm not going to launch into the hellhounds and all that. I mean, just he was taken care of, purged from the garage, and that was that.
Yeah.
We'll leave it there.
Things were dealt with.
But the only reason why I launched into the stories and to let you guys know these things is because of the fact that even though the movie was sensationalized and it was an awesome, honestly, yeah, 4 stars. I will stay with 4, but I will not give it 5 because it was too sensationalized. But I've been in situations that are like that movie, and that is the point that I'm trying to make. Of course, so is Draco. But our family has been in situations like it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the other reason why it gets a 4, because it stayed to, more than likely, very realistic accounts of varying hauntings and things, which is what gave it the sensationalistic look. That's the first time I've spent half an hour on a single review. But
you're actually getting into it, and you actually want to do this review. That's why. The other ones you didn't give 2 fucks about. This one, it's close to home, so you're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
That's
well,
why.
The Lights Out one was basically, it was just a movie, literally just a movie review. There was nothing relatable for me, other than my phobia of having the lights turned off on me.
Other than being a chicken shit.
Yeah, which, by the way, as a continuation from that review, I thought I had the lights on. I could have sworn I did. And Athena had gone to bed already. And I'm thinking, okay, fine. You know, I'm fixing to play SL for a little bit and do my thing. I'm fixing to do this review once he got up from taking a nap. Well, all of a sudden, like somebody flipped a light switch, it went dark. Like, just dim. And it freaked me out because I thought I had a light on. And I had heard noises behind me, but I didn't think nothing of it because the cat's constantly in the bathroom, their litter box, their food, their water. One cat likes to drink out of the bathtub faucet. So she's
Which
like a
retard is that?
Momo. She's like a little hamster. The way she drinks, it paws up on the thing and everything. God. So I'm used to hearing little clamors of noise behind me, and then all of a sudden, and I'm like, well, there's enough daylight I can, you know, whatever. But it was still enough to make me go. Anyway, enough to make me damn near die from. So yeah, I had to call Athena because the hallway is really, really lit, and had her turn on the overheads before she turned on the other light for me because I couldn't move. When I say paralyzing fear, it's no joke. But anywho, yeah, it turns out I asked him when he got down if there was a light on when he left to go upstairs to grab something to eat. He's like, no, it was just daylight. And I'm like, shit. It was just the sun setting behind the house next to us. No wonder. So, yeah, anywho. But no, that's been the movie Winchester. It was awesome. 4 stars for movie quality, realism, what have you. 1 docked for too much sensationalism. That's all I can say on it.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, it's a solid movie.
Yeah. Now, to the very end of the thing, would I recommend it? Yes.
Hell yes.
Go watch
Are you
this
kidding?
movie. It's a good movie. So,
It's worth seeing. I don't know if it's on video yet.
well, like I told them, we have Netflix and varying other, you know, streaming
We have
programs and things.
Programs. Let's just put
So-
it that way. I don't know if it's on video yet or if it's in Netflix or what because of the site that we used. But I would definitely suggest a rental once it is available for rental because it is a very good film.
Or if it's still in theater, go see it in theater. I mean, I
Oh,
would
hell
love to have seen
yeah.
this on the big screen.
Hell yeah, man. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. That would have been so flippin' awesome.
But this has been our second review now, movie review. Again, please feel free to leave suggestions. We can literally find any movie out there. So, granted, it might have to wait till it comes to Netflix, but we'll still see it, we'll still review it, and we'll still go from there. Day late, $1 short. because, like I said, Lights Out was done in 2016, and I'm just not getting around to actually being able to watch it. So, it is what it is. So, if you like these reviews, please leave a like. The thing that my little family that you might not understand is for every video that you like, lets me know that that's the content y'all want to see.
And we can make more of that content.
Exactly. So, if there's certain content that you guys want, then let me know. Oh, and I noticed, by the way, I'm up from 42-ish families back to 43 families. So, welcome, new family, to whoever it was that joined. I'm sorry I hadn't noticed you sooner. I do have some of our family that does not share their subscriptions, therefore I cannot send them a personalized message of welcome to the family. So, you know who you are. Welcome to our family. Anyway, we're out because it's already been 30 minutes. Go watch the movie.